Welcome to the Self-Storage Show, where I have conversations with my industry friends, talk with owners and vendors, and share tales about my management company, 3 Mile Storage. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is Jim Ross with the Self-Storage Show. Got another episode coming at you here. It's more of along the lines of the interview series I've been doing. I got Fernando Angelucci with me. He's the CEO, I'm going to read this here, the Senior Managing Partner of Self-Storage Syndicated Equities. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Somewhat. Cool. How's it going, Fernando?
It's going well. I'm living the dream right now. Currently coming to you from São Paulo, Brazil.
That's so cool. I know you were telling me earlier how you're able to bounce around while you were down there now, and it's going to stay there for what, till like April?
Yeah, I'll be in South America this time until about April.
Ugh, I'm jealous of that. I'm stuck in Utah, and the snow started falling just a couple days ago, so I'm already ready for hibernation
Right.
for like the next 6 months, where I just complain about the weather and I don't see the sun for 6
Yeah, exactly.
I am jealous.
I know that too well from coming from Chicago, so I get it.
Okay, you get it. Yeah, hey, if you don't mind, let's start off. Just kind of tell us a little about yourself, kind of a little backstory, and we'll get into it.
Yeah, so I'm trained as an engineer, actually. Worked for a Fortune 50 chemical company for about 13 months before deciding to actually pursue my passion in real estate. When I was 16 years old, I read Rich Poor Dad, and that kind of changed the way I viewed the world. So started off in the single family, multifamily space, doing everything from fix and flip, buy and hold, hard money lending, Airbnb, you name it, and decided to shut all that down around 2016. And from 2016 to 2018, as we're selling all of our rental properties, we started picking up storage education, and then bought our first self-storage facility in 2018. Since then, we've done a little over $220 million in storage. And this year, it's going to be our biggest on record. We'll probably finish out the year at around $140 million in acquisitions, developments, and sales.
Dang. Okay, you guys are on a rocket ship. That's awesome.
Yeah.
16 years old, you picked up the Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, I had to write that down because I'm trying to get my own kids to be like, get off the video games, read a book once in a while. I'm like, I can't do it. So kudos for you actually having that motivation. 16 years old, reading that kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And it's funny how that one book has impacted just so many people. Is that one book and just put them on a whole different path in life. You don't hear that very much from other books, but that's one that's always a constant theme.
Well, I find that, you just don't know the things that are available to you. And that's one of those books that revealed that, hey, being an employee isn't the only way to make money. And actually, there's, being a business owner, and specifically a real estate business owner, you have a lot of these tax incentives that work in your favor that allow, it's not really about the money that you make, it's about the money that you keep. And then secondarily, the time that you keep as well when you make that money. So those are kind of the two things that really motivated me. I wanted to be able to do when I wanted, with whomever I wanted, and to still be able to make a living while doing it.
Yeah, and honestly, just because I think it's so intriguing. You talk about kind of the vagabond kind of life where you can still get all the work done you need to, but you don't have to be chained down to a certain geographical place. I love that. So I don't know. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so read Vagabonding by Rolf Potts about 5 years ago. I said, hey, I want to build my business in a way that will allow me to do this. So once you have that goal in mind, you sit down and realize, okay, what are the mission critical items that require my physical presence? And then from there, how do we figure out how to delegate those tasks away to other people, but still maintain control of that process or that procedure? So, started with the physical acquisition guys, the signing loan docs, the attending closings, finding ways to actually get that to somebody else's hands without it having to require my physical presence. And then what I also realized was from reading that book there is the ability to arbitrage currencies. So, luckily for us, and probably most of the people listening to your podcast, we earn in US dollars, which is one of the strongest currencies in the world. You can take that currency and go to many other countries in the world. Purchasing power parity is such where you can live on a fraction of what you did in the United States, but which actually with a higher quality of living. So, for example, I just came from Mexico City, and there the peso is 18 to 1. For lunch, I would go out and I would, eat tacos at a street vendor, and I would spend maybe 30, 35 pesos. So for $2, I had, fantastic food. You can't really do that in the United States, right?
No, that's that's a dollar menu at McDonald's. That's terrible. So that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's places all over the world that you can do this. I was in Portugal a couple months back, and I found fully furnished 3-bedroom apartments for roughly $400 a month, US, in the city center of both Lisbon and Porto. So there's ways that you can live your rich life, as 𝐼𝐳𝐿 would say, without actually having to spend what you think it would cost to do that.
That is so cool. Okay, I'm jealous. All right, seriously, that's amazing to be able to do that. So obviously, being able to have the business is working as you're traveling, doing your own thing. But I mean, you're knee deep into it with the storage syndicates and getting things going. Can you kind of tell us a bit about the operations with that a little more in detail?
Yeah, so the typical progression of most indicators. So started off using my own money. Very quickly that ran out. So then I went to friends and family, and then very quickly their money ran out. So then I had to start actually treating the capital raising side of our business as its own separate business. So not only does that, require all of the marketing side of things, like going on podcasts, speaking on, the stage at ISS and SSA to show off your expertise and educate the market like you do with your podcast. But then there's also the servicing side behind that as well. We have over 700 investors in our list. So that requires, everybody needs to get updates monthly and quarterly based on what's going on with their deals. You need to get K1s out. So that means now you need to have a whole accounting team that can handle that and get them out in a reasonable time, because most of our investors, they like to file at the regular deadline, not at the extended deadline in October. So that requires a lot of full court press on the front end to make sure that all works smoothly. And all of those businesses within our business have a whole set of procedures and processes that have to be followed. And that's the real key to scale, is being able to get everything out of your head, the owner's head, and put it down on paper in a way that it's not too complicated, simple enough that it can be edited over time. But that allows you to not only delegate your expertise, but it also allows you to delegate your time to others. And the interesting thing, and the feedback I get from a lot of people, is they say, well, I don't trust anybody to do it as good as me. And I say, okay, well, would you hire someone that can do it at 80% your efficiency or expertise? And if someone says yes, then I say, well, how about it? How about you hire two people at 60%, and now they're producing at 120% of what you can do yourself, right? So they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be you. Just once you realize that you can scale out of one person into multiple people, that helps grow that business. Really good book that I'd recommend for this product is Traction by 𝐂𝐧𝐿. I'm sure you've probably read it, but
no, I haven't.
If you haven't, I really recommend. That book is one of the reasons our business started scaling so fast. We used it on a few other businesses prior to this one, but this is the one where we actually brought in, after reading the book and self-implementing, we actually hired an implementer that was trained in the EOS method through that book,
okay.
Traction.
Now I know what you're talking about. Okay, EOS. Yep. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And that book kind of hits all of the 8 core pieces of the business. The people, the processes, literally everything, the accountability, the scorecards, everything you need to do. So I know, most of our staff is virtual. They're from all over the world, not only the United States. And I don't really care what time you clock into work, because 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. my time might be, you know, 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. your time. So as long as you're getting your scorecard metrics done both on a daily and weekly basis, which then, you know, lead up to your quarterly goals and your annual goals, your 3-year goals, your 10-year goals, then you're on the right track. It doesn't really matter when that work is getting done, as long as it gets done.
That's yeah. I started delving into the EOS method about 6 months ago, so I'm a little late to the game
Yeah.
for that. But it's yeah, I've gone through a couple of
Never
meetings.
too late.
No, and it's once you embrace it, yeah, it can be very very impactful. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but man, it can be very impactful if you check it out. Anyway, as
That's
we're
right.
kind of going through the process here, with your storage locations, are you guys doing ground up? Are you guys are buying existing? A little bit of both?
Yeah, so we kind of have what I 3.5 verticals. So the first one that started was buying the mom and pop facilities.
Yeah.
These were typically smaller, 15,000 to 30,000 net rent. And then, you know, doing the value add process, bringing in management efficiencies that allowed us to drop the expense ratios, increasing the marketing, using market data to make sure that we're pricing rents correctly, and then aggregating those properties into, say, a 5 or a 10 or 20 property portfolio to then sell off to someone that has a cheaper cost of capital than us, or someone like us that would be buying a facility, which allows us to compress that cap rate. So that was strategy one. Strategy two, on the other side of the spectrum, is those ground up developments, buying land, developing a great facility that's typically in the 70 to 100,000 net rentable range, and then either selling those off individually, or again portfolioing them into larger portfolios of properties to then further compress the cap rate. Our third vertical came about because of COVID, particularly supply chain issues and materials pricing volatility. So we started doing adaptive reuse conversions, where we would buy big box retail stores that had gone dormant, like Sears buildings or Kmart's,
Yeah.
Walmart's, and then turning them into storage, because we were already walled in. So depending on what part of the country you're in, if you're in the north part of the country, you can't pour in the dead of winter because concrete just won't harden, or you have to pay a bunch of money to heat the concrete. And if you're too far south, it may be too hot to pour concrete. So when you're already walled in, that allows you to work year round. But then also it reduces our total project cost by 20 to 30%, and also decreases our time from shovels in the ground to certificate of occupancy by about 20 to 30%. So those are all savings that we could pass on to the investors. And then, like I said, we kind of have like a half strategy after that, which is, you know, the way our business runs is it has multiple business units inside of it. So one of those business units is marketing. We want to be the first person to touch anyone that's potentially willing to sell. And that means that we're sending out a lot of marketing pieces. And every once in a while we get deals that just don't make sense for us. They're still good deals, but maybe they're just too small for us, or they're in geographies that we don't necessarily invest in.
Yeah.
So what we're able to do is I want to monetize that lead. So I built up a wholesale business within our company, where there's other investors. We have about 3,000 investors on our wholesale buyers list, that they will come in and they will buy those contracts off of us, because they specialize in, you know, Orange, Texas and the surrounding area, or you know, Post Falls, Idaho and the Spokane Valley, where we necessarily won't be doing business there, but someone else has the scale and has the operations already on the floor to take those down, and then we can monetize that. We walk away with an assignment fee, you know, as low as $50,000. In some cases, on the larger deals that we've done, we've walked away with $2 to $4 million assignment fee. And then that is all money that we can put right back into down payments on buying existing facilities or ground up developments.
Man, yeah, I'm impressed. You got it all dialed in, don't you? That's amazing. No, and having the wholesaler part of the business is frankly genius. You know, ones that don't actually fit for you guys, be able to pass it along. No, that's great, man. That's cool to hear. You got a lot going on. So I don't know, people are listening to this and they want to, you know, reach out. Can they get involved with what you guys have got going on, or get on your list, or you tell me?
Yeah, there's multiple ways that you can work with us. So you can buy deals off us on the wholesale side. You can sell to us. So maybe you were one of those really good marketers that were able to get to a seller before we were, and that deal just for whatever reason doesn't make sense to you. Maybe it worked for us, or maybe it doesn't work, but we can partner with you to sell it to one of our investors on our list, and split the proceeds of that assignment fee. You can also joint venture with us. There about 35% of our deals come from investors that they have a really solid deal, but maybe they don't have the expertise or the capital or the balance sheet strength that they need to take it down. And they want to partner with somebody that does have one of those missed pieces. So we also can come in and fill that role for you guys as well. And then, I love to talk real estate. I love to talk business and self-storage. If you just want to reach out and chat, you can go check out our social media, either at SSSE or Self-Storage Syndicated. If you want to follow me personally, it's at the Storage Stud across all the media handles. So you can find there. And then the last thing I would tell people is, for those that like to take a little bit more active action as opposed to passive action, you can just go ahead and reach out to me, via cell phone. I'll give you my mobile number. My cell phone's right here. I don't know if you can see it in the green screen, but cell phone's right here. It's area code 630-408-8090. Feel free to give me a call. And then, of course, if you're one of the people where you don't necessarily want to do any of the business actively, but you just want to get some mailbox money because you believe in the storage space, you can also join our investor list by going to our website, and you'll get emailed deals, syndication deals as they become available.
Oh, that's great. The Storage Stud. I had to write that down. That's awesome. Well, man, this has been kind of eye-opening. I talked to a lot of people, but you guys have it dialed in. You know exactly what you're going for and the goals, and you have the path how to get there. So it's been eye-opening for me to listen to this. So kudos. You got a lot going on. I appreciate it. We need to do a catch-up. Maybe when you're
let's do it.
Down to Brazil and you're back stateside, we can do another follow-up on what's going on, because it sounds like it's just going, like I said, like a rocket ship. It's bigger and better things every single month, it sounds like, for you guys. So we'll have to do a little recap catch-up session in a few months.
Yeah, so I'll be back in Las Vegas in April for the ISF Inside Self Storage World Expo. So if you'll be there, maybe we can do an in-person podcast.
There we go. I will be there. I always make the Vegas ones because it's a quick trip for me. So I'm always there.
Yeah, not too far.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Fernando. We'll do it again. See ya.
Thanks, Jim.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Before we wrap up, just a quick reminder. Do you want to level up your storage game? Visit theselfstorageshow.com. Grab some high-value freebies, check out top vendor spotlights, and stay in the loop with our newsletter. Do you want to chat about becoming a client with 3 Mile Storage Management? All the info's there. Plus, if you've got a story to share, we're listening. Everything you need is at theselfstorageshow.com.